Hey, everybody.
Hello.
Thank you so much for joining us today. It's going to be really fun. We have a really exciting announcement to share with you guys. I can't wait. This is something that I feel like you guys have been asking for a very long time. So I'm super excited for today. It's going to be a fun day.
Yeah, so when we first started working on Seed to Spoon back in 2017, we had a number of goals. One of our goals was to make it to where you could take a picture of a pest and it tells you what it is. We rolled that out earlier this year. That was super exciting. Another big goal we had was making it to where you could visually see your garden. You could lay it all out, plan it. You could see what companions go together, what doesn't go together. And that is what we're showing today. So we've been hard at work working on this over the summer. Patrick, one of our developers, has taken the lead on this, and he has done just an absolute amazing job. I think it looks awesome. I think it functions really well, and we want to get your feedback on it today. So before we release this to everybody, we like to do this where we like to demo new features, get your feedback on it, make sure it makes sense, make sure that we're doing the things you want us to do with the app, and just get your feedback on it before we roll it out. So this is the first session we're going to have like this. We would love to hear your comments, good, bad, anything. Like if it doesn't make sense or if you think something doesn't look easy to use, let us know. Like don't be nice to us. Give us the honest feedback. That's what we like to hear from you. So without further ado, let me share my
Oh,
screen now. I am
hold on.
okay. All
With
right.
further ado, actually,
With further ado,
we are going to further ado it. Um, so each week we do a giveaway. For those of you who joined us in the past, I'm sure you know all about this. It's really exciting. Sorry, I have a fly buzzing me. I keep going like this. So sorry. um anyways, so every week we do a giveaway. So we do two, actually. We do one during this live stream. So one of you guys are going to be entered to win a free 1 year premium from Seed to Spoon app subscription. So all you need to do is just comment over here to the side, um, and let us know like where you're from, where you're joining us, if you have any questions, comments, all of that. And then you will be entered in to win. And then also at the end of this, whenever this is done and it gets posted, go back in and leave another comment. Or if you're watching this after the fact, leave a comment and we will do another giveaway then as well. So, I do have a winner from last week. So, this person is somebody who commented on our last week's live stream and left a comment, and we drew the winner right before right before this. I was doing it like 5 minutes ago. So, it's really exciting. So, this person is now going to have access for premium. They're going to get free shipping. They're going to get all of the unlimited plants,
you can send.
photos to Growbot. Yeah.
There's a lot of stuff that comes with it. Normally we have a PowerPoint that shows it all, but since we're doing a demo today, we didn't do a PowerPoint.
I know I should have put that slide in at least, but I wasn't thinking ahead.
So anyway, comment during this live stream if you want to be entered to win. And after it goes to YouTube, once we're over, you can comment there, and we'll give away a winner next week. We'll give away a winner next week. Okay.
So
now,
last week's winner was Oscar the Ninja. Congratulations. He won by leaving this comment. So it sounds like he is lacking motivation for this fall. So hopefully what we did last week, we went through and talked a lot about a lot of our favorite fall crops. So hopefully that helped to inspire you and get you going again. Because I know fall is my favorite time to grow and garden. And yeah, I'm hoping that you will love it as much as I do.
congrats,
So all you
Oscar.
need to do, Oscar, is email us at info@seedtospoon.net. We'll get you hooked up.
Okay. So now,
Now we will go in.
let me share my screen here. Okay. Can we make the Dell go away on there? Can you go? I think we can go in and like change the name. Can you look at that, Carrie? And I'll just start on. You're not missing much. That's just the home tab you're missing with the Dale covering it down below. Okay, so what you're seeing already is the new planning feature. So this is the dashboard. Let me scroll up so you can see where we are. So this is the first screen when you open the app. And right here, front and center, you can see the new planner that we built. So let's jump in and take a look at this lettuce and carrot bed and see what all you can do. So this bed is already fully planted. We planted this one last week and logged it all in here as we're going. One of the really nice things I like about this, not only can you like visually see what you have going as far as what type of plant, but if you click on a plant, it's going to show you the variety. So we built this in a way that you don't have to go through and log a square for each lettuce that you planted. If you want to put it in multiple places, we made that really easy. And I'll show all that here in a blank garden here in a minute. I just want to show you one of our gardens we've already got here first. So as I click around, you can see the different things we have planted. These are the Rainbow Blend seed tape carrots. These are the little finger carrots. And this is a way to view. Awesome. Thanks, Julia. So this is a way to view what's in your garden just visually. Now, we still have the same view we had before, where if you want to see all your plants this way, you can. You can come in here, and you can also see your garden list this way too. So here's the gardens I have set up on this account. And you can switch between them and do all of that. I'm going to jump back into this lettuce and carrot bed again. So this new tab here, this planning tab, is going to be where you're going to go through and do your visual layout. Now, some things we're trying to work through. We're still working on this, and some of the last finishing touches are related to how it's going to work if you already have plants that are in your garden but aren't in a grid yet. And those are some of the things we're working through. But one important point that I really want to call out here is if you see some of the other garden planners that are out there, they have you build, like lay all of your gardens out and like you have where you can see them all at once. We wanted to take a different approach to it. We wanted to treat it to where each garden bed is its own individual bed, because when you're looking at your garden, I mean, when I'm looking at mine, at least, I'm not looking at every bed at the same time. I'm generally working on one bed at a time. So from here, you can go through and you can switch between your beds, see all that visually. We've talked about maybe adding some sort of a way to kind of lay this out as an overall view, but I think that's less useful than what we're doing here. Now, would love to hear your feedback on it, see what you think about it. You can see here, one of the big features we added into this is that it's going to show you if you have things planted next to each other that do not go well next to each other. So these little red X's, and let us know what you think about these red X's. We tried a lot of different ways of showing this. Carrie, let me know if any of these comments are things I need to address, because like the comments over on that screen, and I don't want to like keep looking back and forth.
I'll let you know. Yeah.
Thank you. So these little red X's denote that these two are not, they should not be planted next to each other. So if it's on the corner, it's going to go with that one. Hopefully that's clear, but let us know. Let us know.
Yeah, so Joshua was asking for clarification for what the red dots were. So I think he just answered that.
Yeah. And there's probably some more visual indicators we could do to make that a little more clear, but just would love to hear your feedback on that. So let's jump into a blank bed and start building together so you can kind of see how this is going to work. So I'm going to start with, another thing we've done is now on this area, so on this dashboard, you can swipe between your gardens and see them all like that, which I think is super useful. So we've got this demo garden here, which is not set up yet. And I'm going to click on Start Planning. The first thing it's going to ask me is how big that garden bed is. So I'm going to come in here 4x8 and generate grid. And so I was doing a little bit of testing before this. That's why you see this one already on there. Let me remove that so that we don't have anything. Okay, so this is a blank garden bed. And now it's as simple as I can just tap on the square and choose what I want to add in there. So this one, where is it on the bed? We're probably going to do like some peas along there because we'll have a trellis. So right there, it added the pea. And I can also click to add it in more places. So if I want to add all along here, like we're probably going to do like a whole row of peas along this trellis. That's usually what we do in these type of beds. And then voila, I've got my peas right there. So over here, let's go. Let's add. We don't have any bad companions in here, do we? Let's add some garlic into here. So we're still working on making it to where you can add a plant directly from there that isn't already in your garden. It's one of our last things we're doing. So I just had to add this into my garden real fast. And now I can come back into the demo. And if I try and plant garlic here, it's going to give me those errors, those little red X's, because garlic and peas do not go well together. So I can say, well, let me put it there instead, and then not there. And we'll just do probably a row of garlic here. So, and now you see if I tap on it, I've got all these garlic plants here. Now, if I wanted to have like 2 different types of garlic, I could do that too. We tried to build this as flexible as possible to be able to handle all the different ways y'all are growing. And there's a lot of different ways that people grow. We tried to be able to handle this as flexible as possible. That was one of our big goals here. So would love to hear feedback on how y'all feel about that. Here we're going to plant.
So we did have a question of how it handles plants that take up multiple squares.
Okay, so for that scenario, like lettuce, let's say this lettuce takes up multiple squares. I can just click on multiple squares. And then that would cover that lettuce over all 4. Now that's not making like 4 plantings of lettuce over in the growing tab. So if I come over into here and then go into that list, you're still just going to see like, well, we had different varieties of lettuce, but that one variety wasn't duplicated or anything like that. So if you had, say, for example, a tomato that you wanted to take up multiple squares with that one tomato, you could just click on it. I don't have a tomato in here, but you could click in there and then you could just click around everywhere you wanted that to be. So that is basically it. We are still working through it. Still have some new features we want to add in. And I do want to stress, this is the very first version of it. Our end goal with this is to make it where you can just choose the plants that you want to be in a garden, and we automatically lay them out for you based on where they would go well together, based on how they would be impacted by the sun and all of that kind of stuff. So that's going to be version 2 of this. Version 1 that is coming out is not going to have that in there, but it is going to have everything you're seeing here today. And our goal is to make it to where you can easily populate or get ideas around what should go where and not have to necessarily plan it out yourself. But if you are someone who wants to plan it out yourself, this feature should hopefully give you everything you need to be able to do that. Some other things that are kind of built into this, we've had the concept of multiple gardens for a while in the app, but it wasn't super clear on how you do that. You had to go into, I think we used to have a manage garden screen that you could go into to switch between gardens. We're trying to make that all way easier. So that's why now you can just click on here. You can switch between your garden beds there. On the dashboard, you can swipe between them. Trying to make it much easier, but that also creates some challenges because we don't want to make it confusing at all. We want to make sure you know where you are at all times in the app. So this is something that we are planning to get out into the hands of our beta testers within the next few weeks. I know a lot of you on this call are already in that group. If you would like to help us test this, just email us. Carrie, can you pop up the email address? Just email us at info@seedtospoon.net, and we will get you on the list to help us test. But depending on your feedback, how it comes in today, I saw a lot of awesome feedback come in today, but I know once you get your hands on something, it can feel a little bit different. So we want to get this into the hands of some users as soon as we can. Make sure everything's working great, and have this ready for your fall garden. So we're really excited about it. Shout out to Carrie for creating all these graphics. She spent probably a week straight just doing nothing but creating graphics for this.
Yes.
And Patrick for everything he's done. It automatically switched my. Okay, there's the tablet view. If you want to see the tablet view. So anyway, that is our new planning feature.
So can you show real quick? So let's see. Karma had a question of how you change the size of a bed to a custom size. I think she missed how you, if you just want to create a new one and show that you can create it on pretty much any.
the size of existing beds too. I haven't tested that, so if this doesn't work, we'll make it work. Don't judge me. But I'm pretty sure we can come in here. Yeah, reset garden layout. Now that's gonna, yeah. So you can come in here and now do like
You said
4
2x8,
2
so
by 8. Awesome.
she has.
Another thing we want to know: what is the longest bed that you have? We kind of figured no one's really going to have a bed longer than 16 feet. I've never really seen that. If an overwhelming amount of people do, we will need to make some changes because I think right now we've capped it at like the length being 16. But if it's a 2 by 8, it would look like this. So there's a broccoli. I'll put a broccoli like every other probably. And then we could do some lettuce in between them. Yeah. So there you go. Looks like lettuce and broccoli do not go well together though, so I should not have done that. So nice little indicator there, letting me know.
So Rosemary was asking about how many gardens are available to add.
So with a free account, you only get 1 garden, but if you're a premium subscriber, you can have as many gardens as you want. There's no cap on it. But for a free user, you have 1 garden. Now this is going to be a feature that is going to be available to free users, but again, you're only going to have access to that 1 garden. Being able to have multiple gardens is one of our premium features.
Well, SmartPod says that they need 100 feet to plant.
This may not be the right tool for logging a commercial garden, SmartPod.
This is a great point by Harry. So the biodome 6x8 or 6x10. So that's fantastic because this is going to make it so much easier for me for the biodome as well. I can keep track of exactly what I planted where in the biodome too. So my indoor seed starting is going to be way better too. I can't wait.
Yeah, that's going to be awesome. I cannot wait. And that we're talking about having like a biodome specific view. So like we tried to make it look like a fake garden. You can kind of see like that's what we were going for here with this background. I think it's a little animated still. I think we need to make it a little more subtle because these bubbles, they almost look like bubbles or something. But we do want to have a view that's like a biodome too. That kind of looks more like, or like a seed starting tray so that you can keep track of that as well. So that's something.
We have Patrick in the chat. He says you might want to show the add to grid modal and the tabs showing plants already on grid versus needed to be added. Same thing for the dashboard. Patrick we should have had him on here instead of just in chat. So everybody can see him. Everybody say hi to Patrick. Patrick is the brains behind a lot of this.
Patrick is just every single morning we meet with Patrick and he shows us what he worked on the day before. And it's so fun and exciting because every day he's got all this new stuff to show us. And I feel bad sometimes because he'll have something completely built and then Carrie and I'll be like, well, can we do this instead? And then over stuff. But that's how you get good software. That's through iterations like that. So let me show what he's talking about. So if I click on a plant here, I can see here are the plants that need to be added. So these are like already in my garden, but aren't in the grid. And then these are the ones that are added to the grid. We're going to have a new tab here very soon that is plants that aren't in your garden at all, so that you don't have to go add something to your garden before you can add it to the grid. This is one of those things I'm a little concerned about it being confusing though, because there's this concept of plants that are like in your garden, but not added to the grid. I'm trying to find the most clear way we can to convey that because all of you that have the app now are going to come into this new feature with gardens that are already filled out and you're going to need to populate the grid based off that. Whereas brand new users, are just going to have, this is all they're ever going to know is the planter. They're not going to have this whole garden that they are, they've already managed in the app. So that's one of the complexities we're trying to work through, trying to make sure it's clear for everybody. Because I just don't want it to be confusing. That's the number one thing with this app is we don't want it to be confusing. We want it to be user-friendly, and we don't want you to feel like you're having to figure out where you're going or how things work or any of that stuff. So that is pretty much what we have to show today. Like I said, our hope is to have this in the hands of, yes, Patrick is definitely a wizard. Justin is our other developer, and his like official nickname is the Wizard. That's what we call him. So anyway, within the next couple of weeks, We're going to get this in the hands of our demo users. And again, if you want to try that out, just email us at info@seedtospoon.net, and we will get you set up with the test build here once it's available. And we're really excited about it. So if you have any comments or suggestions, if something doesn't look clear, just kind of from what I showed today, please let us know in the comments. We want to make sure that it's easy to use for everybody.
So we did have a couple questions. So in each square is 1 square foot. So they were asking about putting more than one item in a square.
So you could have multiple plants in a square. So let me share my screen again and describe this concept. Okay. So this square here, for example, if I was planting lettuce, like I'm not just going to have one lettuce plant in there. I'm going to have either 4 or 16, depending on the variety and how I'm growing it. But there's just going to be that one icon there that represents that. So now on this detail though, so like for lettuce right here, if I go into the edit plant details, then this is where I could put like 9. So in that square, I know that there's 9 of lettuce, but if we tried to cram like 9 little lettuce icons in there, it would look horrible. So we didn't really go that route. We just made it to where it's a visual representation so you know what's in that square. But if you want to know more details about it, then you can always just come in here. We're going to make it where you can click right here to go into this detail. For now, you've got to click on this edit plant details. But you can come in here, and then this is all the information that we had before. So this is everything that you're kind of used to seeing. We're going to do other things also, like make it easy to add like a log event or a photo for a plant directly from here. So make it where you can tap on this plant and then add a photo or a note like directly from here. That's something else we're working on too. The goal is to make it to where this grid is pretty much the only place you have to go to see your garden. I'm already finding myself like not really going into the other details as much. So as you see us work on this, we're going to try and build more features around that idea. So for example, on this dashboard here, you can already see these cards that we're creating for like when the next sprouting event, when the next harvest is for this garden. We want to have other things in here too, like the next watering, next fertilizer, all of that kind of stuff is what we're working on adding next. So we want to make this just a dashboard where you can see the garden, see everything that needs to be done in it, like right there at a glance, and not necessarily have to go tap around all these different things. Because I know me especially, like if I'm in the garden planting, I want it to be quick and easy. I don't want to be looking at my phone when I'm in the garden, which is, I know, like counterintuitive to the guy that built the gardening app doesn't want to look at his phone when he's in the garden, but like I garden to get away from all these screens that I stare at all day. So when I'm in the garden, I don't want to be having to go through an app and do all these things. I want it to be quick and easy. And I just want to stay organized, because I know that if I don't log what I planted, we're going to have no idea what that is until it sprouts. And then we won't know what the variety is until it starts to produce. Because I do have a tendency of doing that. I was going out and planting a whole bunch of stuff. And Carrie's like, what did you do?
I know. I have to stay on top of him all the time. I'm like, okay, what was right here? I'm follow behind him with a marker. So we did have a suggestion, kind of what we were just now talking about. So Harry was saying maybe we could do a number overlay on the plant to indicate how many we have in that square.
Yeah, that's a great idea. I love that. We could put it in the bottom left or bottom right corner or something like that. Yep, I love it. See, that's why we do this, y'all. Y'all have such great suggestions. I mean, I feel like half the features in the app came from things that y'all have asked for over the years. It's awesome. So keep them coming. Any other suggestions you have? This video is going to be on the internet forever, so you can go leave comments, after the fact if you're not watching it live, and we'll see those too.
I know there's a lot over here that are popping up. I'm trying to pop them up as I see them, but I keep losing some of them. So I have them all right here, though. If I haven't popped them up, I'm reading everybody's comments and everything too. It looks like everybody does want like smart pots, the circular as well, which will be coming soon. But first out, we wanted to do like the rectangular and things like that too.
Yeah, and I will show just briefly kind of how I've used this for my smart pot gardens. So I have a row of smart pots that are right next to each other, and it's pretty similar to this 2x8, honestly, to where they're just like 2 smart pots stacked next to each other and they go all the way down. So I'm basically treating that to where each one of these is a smart pot. We could have a different background or something to make it a little more clear, but you can use this with smart pots because half our garden is smart pots. So we had to build it to where we could do that. Just haven't come up with a great way to have like a garden where all the smart pots are like separated and away from each other, because this feature really does revolve around the concept of stuff being kind of grouped together. So still working through how we'll handle something like that. But for this first wave, you can handle a smart pot garden just by creating a grid of kind of where the different smart pots are.
We did have a question too about the variety. So, like, if you have multiple types of peppers or different types of lettuce, where you would see the variety.
Yep, let me show that. So if I click on this plant right here, the variety information will be down in this detail window. So anytime you click on a plant in the grid, it's going to change the plant that's shown down here in this window to show you what variety it is.
Awesome. Yeah, we get a lot of love from Smart Pots. Everybody loves them. So nice. Oh, and Julia, I think you were one of our winners. You should be getting a Smart Pot in soon too. So you get to try a Smart Pot here soon. Because some weeks we give away extra goodies too. Okay, let's see. I have a couple questions that I saved here. So history.
Yep, this is a great suggestion, Harry. This is something else we're working on. So right now, like, you could archive the garden and you could go in and see that, but we want to make it so that when you're planning the next garden, it takes that into account and kind of shows you what was in that square before. So definitely high on the list as far as one of the next feature additions we add into this is the companion planting logic, not just applying to what's currently in the garden, but what was in the garden before as well.
Yeah, that's great. And along the same line, I really want this feature as well. I was thinking of this as well whenever we were logging this out. So yes, Jody, you and me are thinking on the same wavelength here. I've already thought of this too because I'm like, ooh, I really want to do that. So
Yeah, that's a great suggestion.
yeah, for sure.
For the most part, it really goes with things that are in the ground next to each other. Although, like, there's different aspects of companion planting, and if it's so, one of the reasons why you want to not put things next to each other, like the broccoli and cabbage, for example, is because they have the same pests. So in that case, like having the two pots next to each other, like even though it's in a pot, it's still going to have issues with the pests being able to kind of jump from one plant to the other. So I typically have some sort of an herb or something or a flower in between, like a broccoli and a cabbage. So it really depends. Like, some complanting logic is based off of the fact that, like, for example, fennel will impact things around it via the roots. So that's not going to matter if it's in a container, but in the ground it would. So there's different reasons for it. That's one of the reasons that the last suggestion, like, I'm already trying to figure out how we're going to do that. And that could be a little complicated. It's all about data. So Carrie, you're going to have to enter a lot more data.
I know. I already thought about that too. I was like, oh man, I need to go in for every single enemy and come up with why they are not. And I'm like, oh, that's going to be a lot of lots of information.
Yeah, I'm working on an algorithm in my head. I got some ideas.
Okay.
For that.
Let's see. Oh, this is a good suggestion. The Red X show what would be better. So I know we have talked about in future ones like having recommendations. So this would probably factor into that.
That'd be great. That'd be an easy kind of step gap between what we have now and in the future we're talking about, because this one we could do with our existing data. Because you tap on the X, we pull the plants that are already in the garden that are not bad companions and have them in a list right there. So y'all have such great suggestions. I love this. I'm so glad we did this.
We're talking about maybe a green check for plants that go better together.
We tried that initially, but it was just like it was very busy because it was like green and red everywhere. It was like a Christmas grid. So we settled on only showing if there's a problem, and then just kind of understanding that if there's not a problem, that means it's okay.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Julia. We've definitely been working hard at it for sure. Well, Patrick too, especially. Thank you, Patrick. Okay, I'm going through. I don't know if I missed if you guys have any questions or anything like that, pop them into the chat. Hopefully, I didn't miss anybody's. I try my hardest to go through and pull up everybody's comments as I can. Let's see.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Just have a toggle where you can turn them on or off. So if you want Christmas mode, I'm sure Carrie will definitely have Christmas mode turned on all the time. I can.
Yes, for sure.
Carrie's a Christmas fanatic. For y'all that don't know, she loves Christmas.
All the time. Yeah, we do still have our Christmas tree up as well, but it's so big too, but it's so pretty, and I just, yeah, we have it up year round.
You can only sign up through premium through the app, Sue. There's not a way to do it on the web right now. We've talked about doing that though, but it's just not something we have in place right now. So right now, the only way to do that is through the app. And so this will be available to our test users within the next few weeks, and then it's going to depend on when we roll it out to everyone else, because it's going to depend on how it goes with the test users. Honestly, if we get it into your hands and half of y'all are like, this doesn't make any sense and I'm confused, then we're going to have to go back to the drawing board and rework things. But if it goes with flying colors, then we should be able to get it out pretty quick. So definitely the goal is to have this, and we're working on a whole host of changes that we're shooting to have out before the spring growing season, which for us, we consider that December 26th is basically the day that people start using our app again after like taking the fall off. It seems like every year we notice on December 26th, we get like flooded with people using the app again. So our goal is to have all of this out and fully tested before that, even, so that we don't have any issues when the flood of people come back. So that's the goal.
Okay, I had to go through. I was going through and running the winners.
Guess who already does this, Jody?
Yes. Yes.
Yes. 16-foot tall.
See, Jody and I, we really are. We have the same ideas.
Oh, I see something here. Rosemary, you can. We have a web version of the app that you can get to at app.seedtospoon.net. Carrie, do you mind popping that up on screen?
Yep.
The URL. But that's what I was using today to show this. I'm just on my computer, and I was showing a beta version of it. It's not this isn't at that URL yet, but the app that's in the App Store is at that URL, and we keep it updated. So anytime we roll out an update, that gets updated. But it's definitely nice being able to use that for entering a lot of information. I think this planner is going to be another great use of that. If you have a really like that 2x8, for example, probably would have been easier if you could see it all at once, especially if you have a small phone.
Okay. Are you ready to do the giveaway?
Let's do it.
Okay. Oh, do you want to answer this question real quick?
Yeah.
Here. Okay.
Yeah. So, Charlotte, so right now we're just previewing this feature. We have not rolled it out yet. What we like to do with the app is get feedback on things before we roll it out to make sure that everything makes sense and we're doing what you guys want. So this is only available right now just to our internal team. We're going to be rolling out over the next few weeks to our test users, and then it'll go out to everybody. If you would like to help test it, though, you can email us at info@seedtospoon.net, and we can get you added into the test group. So
yeah, we would love to have as much help as you guys want to give us. We'd love all your suggestions, all your feedback. It's all invaluable to us.
Harry's got a good point here too. So the web app version does only take up like a certain part of the screen. It's kind of locked into tablet mode. So we probably need to take a fresh look at that with this planner in mind and see what we can do about using some more of that real estate. So Right now, the web version is basically like the iPad version, just in a browser. So it kind of cuts off on the sides, but that's a good thought, and we need to look at that. All right, you ready to announce the winner?
Yeah. So congratulations to Rosemary. I thought it was
Congratulations.
funny because
Name.
right as I was typing it in, you pulled up a comment from her, and I was like, "Oh, haha, that's our winner." So congratulations, Rosemary. You get the free year premium from Seed to Spoon Access. So I'm excited for you. You'll get unlimited ones of these to try out to do, and free shipping on all of your orders. It's amazing. Yeah, you'll have fun just going in and exploring, I'm sure. I saw a few more questions come in. Do you want me to pop some up real quick
Sure. Go ahead. Yeah, if we got more
before we
popping
let
up.
everybody go? Okay. So Steve was asking about he's got a pretty good size yard, apparently like ours.
Yeah. So what you would do is each garden would be like each bed would be its own garden in the app. So I imagine you have this split up into different areas, and you would just create that area in the app. So even if it's not a raised bed, even if it's just kind of in the ground, I'm sure you have those kind of split up by different sections, and you would just create each section there in the app. But would love to get this into your hands, Steve, to find out how it works for a grower like you, because that's I think it's going to work great for the typical backyard grower. For the larger gardens, I would love to see how well it's going to work out in that front. We have a pretty large garden here, so we're going to be doing all the testing here with ours, but the more feedback we can get on this, the better.
And then I was going to pop this up too, CJ. So send us an email at info@seedtospoon.net and we can get you added into our beta group if you're not already. And that way you can use it this weekend and try it out and see how it goes.
I will say I don't know if we're going to have it out this weekend yet.
Oh, okay.
Still working through some stuff. I think there's still a few things we need to do before we're ready to get it in everyone's hands. But within the next few weeks, we're going to be there. So just email us. We'll get you in the group. And I promise we will get it into your hands as soon as it's not going to frustrate you. There's still some bugs here and there that I think will frustrate people. And there's still some things we're working through. I mean, like what I just showed was hot off the developer's computer like an hour ago. Like we were just making changes this morning. It's very fresh. So, but we wanted to show this as soon as we can because we don't want to spend more time working on it if we're building the completely wrong thing, and then we just end up wasting a lot of time on something. So, wanted to get this in front of all of you as soon as possible, just to get feedback on how it's looking, and then we'll get it into your hands here really soon.
Yep, looks like we have several people who have emailed, so I will check our email as soon as we're done here, and I will get you all set up so that way whenever we are ready, you guys will be all set up and ready to go too. Hopefully very soon, because I know I'm eager too. It's exciting. Great. Well, this was really fun, and I'm excited that you guys are excited about it. I love it.
And don't forget, if you're watching this after the fact, leave a comment on the YouTube video, and we'll have another giveaway next week. Do we know what we're talking about next week yet?
No, I never do. You always put me on the spot too at the very end. No, I don't know. I don't know. We'll see what we feel like, I guess. Or what do you guys feel like talking about next week? And we
Yeah,
can
if you got good suggestions, let us know.
yeah. I would love any ideas because you guys always like I feel like every week you guys kind of lead the way on what's going to be talked about the following week because whatever you guys have questions about or because it was because of you guys I did like the preservation and recipes and things like that. So
let me ask you all this. How much interest would you have in a zinnia review? Because we have so many zinnias that we grew. So if we just did a live stream where we just basically showed, here's this zinnia, and like held it up and showed it, and then said what the variety was, is that something y'all would be interested in? Because we kind of geeked out on zinnias this year and grew a lot of different kinds, and we're loving them. So if that's a topic you'd like to hear about, let us know. I see wildflowers in the list, crop rotation. Awesome. All right, we got some ideas. So we'll let you know if you check out in the app. We always post in there what the next live stream is going to be. We also set it up on YouTube several days in advance, so you'll be able to see it there. And we'll send another push notification too.
Okay, well, awesome. So thank you so much for joining us today. And hopefully, we will see you again next week, same time, same place, for some more fun chatting. See you guys.